I walked into my childhood home on Christmas morning with my son holding my hand, his eyes bright, his steps quick. The living room was already chaos, wrapping paper everywhere, boxes stacked like trophies, my sister's kids shouting with excitement. They were opening gifts nonstop. 1, 5, 10. I stopped counting at 36. Bikes leaned against the wall. Tablets lit up small faces. New shoes, jackets, toys still sealed. My mom stood in the middle of it all, smiling like she'd planned a perfect scene. I wanted them to feel extra love this year, she said loudly, proud. My son stood beside me, quiet, waiting. I waited too. Minutes passed. No one said his name. No one handed him anything. He didn't complain. He just watched, hands tucked into his sleeves, like he was trying to take up less space. I finally asked calmly, "Mom, did you want him to sit somewhere?" She didn't even turn around. "Oh, I didn't get him anything," she said. "I figured you'd understand." My sister glanced over and shrugged. "He's little. He won't notice." My son looked up at me and smiled, soft, careful, the kind of smile kids use when they don't want to be a problem. I felt something tighten in my chest, but my face didn't change. My mom sighed, annoyed now. "You always do this," she said. "It's Christmas. Don't make it awkward." I nodded, and in that moment, everything became clear. This wasn't about money or forgetting. This was about where we ranked. They didn't see anything wrong because, to them, this was normal. My son getting nothing made sense because I had always been the one who was expected to accept less. I realized how loud favoritism is and how quiet self-respect has to be. I helped my son put on his jacket. He didn't ask why. He didn't cry. He just trusted me. At the door, my mom said, "You're really leaving over something so small?" I turned back, smiled once, and said nothing. They thought they had won. They had no idea what I was about to do next. I didn't explain myself after that day. I didn't send messages. I didn't argue. I didn't post anything dramatic online. I just stopped showing up. Life got quieter after that, on purpose. I focused on my son, on routine, on stability, on making sure he never had to wonder if he mattered. I worked longer hours, learned new skills at night when he slept, took risks I never talked about. I said no to distractions, no to nostalgia, no to people who only remembered me when they needed something. Slowly, things changed, not in a flashy way, in a grounded way. Bills stopped feeling heavy. Choices became easier. My confidence stopped needing permission. Meanwhile, the noise kept coming from the other side. My sister called once, complaining about how expensive everything had become. Her kids wanted more, better, newer. My mom had started helping less, not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. I listened. I didn't comment. Another time, I heard through relatives that things were stressful at home. Arguments, expectations, everyone talking, no one listening. They still talked about me too. "She's changed. He thinks he's better now." Ever since that Christmas, I let them talk. What they didn't see were the quiet wins. The evenings where my son laughed without looking around to see who was watching. The mornings where I didn't dread checking my phone. The small milestones that stacked into something solid. Once my mom almost asked for help. She paused mid-sentence, then changed the subject. Pride does that. I didn't push. I didn't offer. I just stayed calm. Another time, at a family gathering I didn't attend, my name came up again. Someone mentioned where I worked now. Someone else corrected them. Apparently, the story had changed, upgraded. Quietly, there was a moment when the truth almost slipped out. My sister overheard someone congratulating me for something I never announced. She laughed it off, but the laughter sounded forced. Later, she texted me, casual, pretending nothing was wrong. "So, what have you been up to lately?" I replied politely, briefly, nothing revealing. I wasn't hiding. I just wasn't explaining. Because I wasn't building a comeback. I was building a life. They were still measuring worth in gifts and attention. I was measuring peace, security, and who slept easily at night. They were still loud about what they deserved. I was quiet about what I had earned. They were still talking about me. I was already far ahead of them. We saw each other again the following Christmas. Not at home. At a small family gathering someone else was hosting. The room felt different this time. Quieter. People glanced at me longer than they used to. Someone whispered my name before I even sat down. My mom looked surprised when she saw me, then confused, then careful. Conversation drifted, naturally, to work, to plans, to money. I didn't lead it. I didn't interrupt. I answered when asked. That's when it happened. Someone mentioned the project I'd been working on. Not dramatically, just casually. The way you mention facts you assume everyone already knows. The room went still. My sister stopped scrolling on her phone. My mom's smile froze halfway. So, that was you, my mom asked quietly. I nodded. No explanations. No timeline. No defense. They started connecting the dots on their own. The distance, the silence, the absence, all of it suddenly made sense. I didn't know, my mom said after a moment. Her voice was softer now. I'm sorry about that Christmas. I looked at her. Really looked. I know, I said calmly. That's why I left. No anger. No edge. Just truth. She asked if we could start over. If I could come around more. If my son could spend more time there. I shook my head gently. We're good where we are. I said, I won't put him back in a place where he has to wait to matter. No one argued. There was nothing to argue with. The rest of the evening passed quietly. Respect had replaced noise. Distance had replaced entitlement. As I left, my son squeezed my hand. They thought I was weak because I stayed quiet. They didn't know I was simply busy becoming strong. Life didn't suddenly turn into apologies and hugs after that night. It never does. What changed was the tone. My mom started calling more carefully, not demanding, not assuming, asking. Every sentence slower, like she was afraid of saying the wrong thing and losing access again. My sister stayed distant. Pride takes longer to digest truth. She congratulated me once, brief, flat, forced. I thanked her and didn't try to bridge the gap. I wasn't chasing reconciliation. I was protecting peace. When invitations came, they came with conditions now. What works for you? Let us know if it's okay. That alone told me everything. My son noticed the difference before I did. They're nicer now, he said one evening casually while doing his homework. I nodded. They're more careful, I corrected gently, because kindness that appears after power isn't kindness. It's awareness. I never reminded them of the gifts, never brought up numbers, never asked for fairness. I didn't need to. The boundary was already set that Christmas, the moment I chose to walk out quietly instead of begging to be seen. They learned something that day, even if it took them a year to understand it. Access to me and my child was no longer automatic. It had to be earned. I didn't rebuild the relationship the old way. I rebuilt it on my terms. And if it ever slipped back into noise, favoritism, or disrespect, I knew exactly what to do. Silence had already taught them once.